Hello guys and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. I am in a really good mood right now because I've got this thing working, and I know what you're thinking. You've already seen Hamster's design and probably wondering why I didn't use that because I know that his works. But I haven't actually seen it because I'm recording this on the day that the previous episode came out. That's how I usually record these things. I like to do them over a couple of days because I've got a lot that I want to do this episode and it's going to take me a lot of time. So this thing, I was only able to make it with the help of Seth Bling. I was talking to him about the problem that I had, and he told me that the hoppers use something called a hash table, and it means that when items get transferred from one to the other, there's some sort of instability or something that happens, and it causes the comparator to blink. So the way to avoid that was to put the hoppers side by side rather than having one on top of the other. Now apparently it can still go wrong when you have it like this, but I've yet to see that happen. And this works perfectly, so I want to give you a demonstration. And let me see, I've put some minecart chests in there, and yep, we'll put one there, and this thing here, and we'll just put some items in here. Actually, we don't want to put too many in there, let's just put some of those and some of those, and give it a push, and on it goes. And you can see the items are being transferred, and this thing isn't blinking now, so it's not going to set off our monostable circuit until it's finished transferring items, which it just did. And you saw there, right as I right clicked on that, it sent an item around the corner, it hit the detector rail, and yeah, it gave us a new minecart, which is great because this means we can move on to the next thing that I want to do. And before we talk about that, I just want to show you this area down here. You can see I've removed all of the sandstone, and I've also expanded it in that direction a little bit, and I've done all of this bit up here. And I really like this. We're expanding the wasteland, and this is an awesome project. So let's go down the bottom here and have a look. Now, one of the things that I did when I removed all the sandstone is I added extra smooth stone blocks on top of here because they were all kind of leveled out at the same height. So if you look now, you can see that those ones were not there before, and it made it look so much better to do that. But everything else that we'll be doing from this point on, we're not going to remove any of the smooth stone at all. We're going to try and keep the natural landscape that's hidden under the sand and sandstone. So what I want to do next is work on the water transport thing I talked about in the previous episode, where we transfer items from a water stream into a minecart. So I'm going to go into my test world and see if I can get something that works, because then we can set up like a network of water streams that go out to all the different sides, and it means that I can just work on removing the sand and sandstone and keep dumping items into the water stream, and it should all take care of itself because it will store all of the items that we put in the water stream down here, and then it will put those into minecart chests, send them up to the top, the transfer will happen up there, and then that minecart will come back down and receive more items, which I think would be a pretty awesome way of doing it. And we also get to set up a network of water streams as well, because they'll go off to different parts of the quarry that we're working on. So here it all is. We have our water streams, and we have a processing area down here. Now this, I was originally going to build a redstone circuit to control all the items going into the minecart chest, so it would detect that the chest is there, fill it up, and then send it back on its way. But when I went into the test world, it was going to be a lot of work, I could tell, and I've done so much on the other one recently that I thought I'd give it a pass. So I just set this really simple thing up right here. We got some hoppers there. The items are going to come in at that end and make them their way down to the hopper there. And what I've now realised is that whenever there's a minecart here, it's going to get full up by what's ever in here. So all you have to do is walk by, check to see if it's full, and then press the button. It goes all the way up to the top, transfers all the items over, and then it comes back down again. So that is actually really simple, and I think I'm going to keep that because I like the size of this area here. In fact, I might put a roof on this bit, I'm not sure, but I like this processing area that we have, and if we were to make it any bigger, I think it would not suit the landscape, because I don't want to leave too much of a footprint on this area, if you know what I mean. I think the ice roads, well, they've got ice, but you know, the item transferring water streams that we have here, they're kind of a lot bigger than I thought they would be, but now that I've built it, I can see that as well as the water, you need to have some blocks on either side to stop them. So what I decided to do is to use pressure plates, and also these signs are placed on the edge of that pressure plate, so that's why it's floating like that. And I didn't let this go the whole length of the stream, I wanted to put them closer together, and I think this one is slightly longer at the corner here. So the reason that these blocks are here is because the items are going to come down here with a bit of speed, and then as they go this way they're going to get pushed back, and it's quite likely that they're going to use these edges to make sure that they get around the corner, although I'm going to keep my eye on that and do some tests, of course, to make sure that we don't lose any items there. And so what we can do now is, as we continue to expand this area, is just expand these as well. So I'm going to probably have one going in that direction. You can see there's lots of sand over there. That one down that end will probably continue going in that direction and possibly go back along that way as well. And this is like a real a real big project. I really like demolishing all of the desert and having this infrastructure to help me do it in a sort of old-fashioned way, because in Minecraft you can throw ender pearls around and, you know, do things really quick and efficient, but sometimes, you know, it's important just to have fun and do a project like this, which isn't really about being as effective as possible. So I have something really cool to share with you now. It is a time lapse. Obviously I have to record the time lapse first, but I'm really hoping that it goes to plan, and then I'll talk a little bit more about it after. There we go, that was crazy. I recorded that with my second computer because I recently upgraded this one. I used parts out of the old one so that I could make two systems out of the upgrade. So at last I got around to doing it. I put the cameraman in the game in creative mode, just hovering up there, and I filmed the whole thing. Now, I encountered some unexpected downtime. After I finished recording it all, I tried to transfer the files over the network, which was 140 gigs of footage. And that was going to take 7 hours, so I had to turn off both computers, swap the hard drives around, and then swap them back after that. Look, this guy's got caught in the water stream. Take that. And yeah, I actually planned on doing a lot more editing in that time lapse. I thought every time that I'd encounter a mob, I'd go out of the above view and switch to my first player view, because I was recording on both computers at the same time. But unfortunately, it was so much footage that it takes forever to just, play a little bit of it in Windows Media Player. No, in Windows Media. Ugh. In Windows Movie Maker. That's what I still use. I have upgraded, and I plan on, using better editing software, but I'm still using Movie Maker for now. So unfortunately, I couldn't make it quite as interesting as I wanted to. But I was watching it back a moment ago, and I thought it was brilliant to just see this get demolished like that. It was really cool, and I'll probably do some more time lapses now using the third person. I can do some more interesting stuff where I cut between the third person perspective and my own perspective if it doesn't go on for as long as this took me. So have a guess at how long it took me to do all of this. Have you made your guess? It took me an hour and a half, and I was expecting all of this to take me about 4 hours, so I was quite pleased with that really. I put on a movie and just enjoyed that while I was doing all of this, and I actually want to do some more right now. I don't know why I don't get bored of demolishing all these deserts, but look, there's plenty out there to do, so I've got lots to do over time. And I really like the way it comes all the way up to the jungle biome like this. I was thinking the next bits that I would do would be around the sides, so we could expose more of that. But I've mentioned before, my plans are to demolish all of this, and I was on here with Cube the other day, and he was saying that we should all get together and burn the whole thing down, just go around with flint and steel, which I thought would be pretty cool as well to do. And then when we've done that, we can actually half slab a lot of the jungle biome and make ourselves an ocelot farm if we really wanted to. And there's just another opportunity right there, but we've got so many ideas and projects floating around at the moment. I think we should move on to the next one which I want to do, which is expand this pathway that we've built over here and take it down into the ravine that we have just down there. And before we do that, I just want to say these water streams, I might have to rebuild them, because first of all I tried to put the items into the stream with a dropper, and what it did is it put them at random directions, so some would get caught on the edges here, they come down here and they would collide like that with this block. And I tried putting them in manually as well, the same thing happens basically. Sometimes they get caught around these edges, so I think what we actually need to do is just lower this all down one block so the water stream is is down between these two blocks on either side. So before we do anything else, I thought we'd come back here and see how the minecart chests were. Now the thing with this is when you go through the nether portal, the chunks on the nether load, and then all of those minecart chests that you've sent through, they drop onto the tracks and they come up here in one little group, so they all sort of group up, and I don't think there's really any way to separate them. What I'll probably end up doing is, I tell you what, it might be possible when they're grouped up to drop them into the same spot and have a hopper suck the items out of them. Now I think it would be very fortunate if it did this, but what it could possibly do is when one chest is empty it moves on to the next one, so that's something to try. But basically, because they get all grouped up, it makes it a little difficult to automate the next process, but I'm definitely going to try that. Anyway, we got, how many was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 minecarts, so we sent through 7 minecart chests, and I put all of the sand in this side, so we got all of that, and then sandstone on this one as well. So that was what we got from that big dig. I finished doing the water streams, as you can see. And you know what, while I was doing that I was thinking, I don't really like these water streams, maybe I should do something different with minecarts. But now that the water's been lowered, it looks a lot more realistic, and do you know what, I actually like this, so we'll probably keep that for now. Maybe I'll change my mind. But the other idea that I had was to use minecarts, and what we would do is just move this over by one block. We'd have the pressure plates on one side and the minecart track on the other one, which I think would look good, because this being 3 wide is fairly big, and it probably seems big at the moment because the wasteland biome isn't that big yet, so I think this is going to be fine. I'm going to leave it for a while and think about it again, but I'm probably going to go with this. And while I did this as well, I also took some time to do something over here, so I'm just going to throw that. Let's hope we land in the right place. Yep, perfect. So this over here was like a water bowl. You know, you get like the ponds. It was quite a deep one, as you can see, and I decided that I wanted to extend this all the way back here and see what it would look like after it's all been removed. And it's really cool. It's like a blast crater of some sort, so I think that's actually going to look even better when we remove more of it over on this side. But at the moment I need to work on the ravine. Yes, we're going to be building a staircase down to there. I think I'm going to do a little more removal over in this area, and then we'll work on the ravine. So this has taken me some time to get done, and I think we should have a look from a different perspective. I've only seen it from where I can walk on it. If we go over to this side, and you know what, I think that actually comes out a little bit too much. I should have gone back a couple of blocks that way maybe. Do I want to redo that? Oh, I really don't. I'm just thinking that you see how far it comes out into the ravine here. I wanted to put some fence posts around the outside, and then it's basically going to be taking up half of the ravine pretty much. But it is a lot of work, and it's really, I don't know, I'm just being too fussy again, aren't I? And that's exactly what I wanted to get away with this thing. So I built this pathway down just like this. I'm thinking in the middle what I'm going to do is replace all of this with jungle wood, or, oh well, I had two ideas in mind. I had jungle wood down the middle, or we could put beams going across the side bits here like that, although I'm not sure they'd really fit in. But we'll have to see what we can do. I think I'm going to go get some more jungle wood and start off by making some beams, because if I put it from these 3 blocks going across, then it'd look like a support beam, and maybe having bits of jungle wood going into the rock as you go down would look nice. But anyway, let's go down to the bottom. It comes into the second ravine here quite nicely. I'm going to put like some sort of balcony around the edge like that. And then you go down again. Again it comes into this ravine, which is nice. And then it leads all the way down to the bottom here into this little room. And I've also got rid of the ladder that we had going all the way to the surface. That's been blocked off at both ends. And we did have some doors here, except the zombies came in and broke them down while I was building this thing over here. And when that's got some more materials around the outside, I think that's going to look good as well. But anyway, I'm going to go back over to the jungle biome and get myself some more jungle wood. So earlier there were these 3 creepers on the hill, and I noticed them, they're all in a little group together. And now there's these 3 guys over here, but definitely not the same ones. Thought that was quite funny though. So you can see I've been working on this a lot, and I really like how this looks. I think the one thing I don't like is the amount of smooth stone. I feel that texture is just too much of a contrast to all the wood around it. It doesn't quite blend, but I can't really think of another material that I can use, because you know, stone is everything around here. Maybe actually more dirt, but then that wouldn't look very, I don't know, structurally sound. This is a structure, that's why we've got these support beams and stuff. So we should go have a look from over there. And again, I've already been over here and had a look. It does kind of stick out a lot, but I think I've got it right. We've got a kind of balance. You can see there's some gaps on these 2 bits where the fence posts are and the occasional holes, and I think what makes it look really good are those beams going across like that. And yeah, I think it's quite good. And we should go down and have another look actually. Let's just see it from over here. Yep, on that side as well, I think it looks good. Maybe a different range of colours would be nice, because again we're just using the 2 woods. If they had these in the different colours of wood blocks, that would be great, because then I could throw in some lighter ones as well and some darker ones and just mix it up a bit. So one of the things I decided to do is, if I just had an idea, I'd do it. So I put some fence posts in the wall, a couple of wood blocks, decided to put trapdoors across these bits when we're in the corner here, done that on each floor, and yeah, random fence posts. Also put some cobblestone down here. Oh, and there's those creepers, they're getting closer. So yeah, I put some cobblestone in the wall, and now we're down to this bit here. I think what I want to do, oh that was lucky, is perhaps build some sort of wooden structure that comes out of here. So rather than just using fence posts, perhaps we'll have support beams and, I don't know, some banisters or something to stop you walking off the edge. Okay, let's take a quick look at the rest of this. I don't want to be talking about this for too much longer, because I had something else planned for the end of this episode that I wanted to do here in the Wasteland. And yeah, so you can see, just again, we've got this wooden pillar down the side here, and we've got another one here out of jungle wood on the edge, and just throwing in the support beams and random things here and there to kind of mix it up. And again, I've played around with the lighting. I know that mobs are going to be able to spawn on certain parts of this, but I kind of like that. I just want it to be a different way of playing the game, you know, not making everything perfectly lit and all that sort of stuff. We're just doing things aesthetically. So I quite like how some areas aren't lit properly, like this bit for example, and then you come down here, and this is probably a bit too dark as well. So that is the staircase. I don't know what we call that really. I'll take that. Right, and let's have a look from a different view. It's kind of foggy down here because of the void fog. In fact, it's hard to get a good view of this really because of where it's located. Let me see if I have some ender pearls. We could throw one up top. Okay, let's have a look over the edge. Yeah, I think that looks pretty cool. So I'm happy with this. It's been a while since we were last here, probably about 8 or 9 episodes, and this place is finished, but there was one thing that I forgot to do. And I was just reading over my notes, and I forgot to sort out the situation with the wall and the chests here, because we can barely see the colour of the wall that each chest represents. And I'd asked you all for feedback on that, and a lot of people said to put the wall behind the ladders, which I didn't like because we have an odd amount of ladders and an even amount of wall, so it would mean we'd have to have either some wall over on the side here or on the other end, and yeah, that just wouldn't work out. But a really great suggestion in the comments is just to shift click, and now you can place an item frame on top of a chest, and I think that's our solution right there. I'm going to put a block of wall that represents what's inside the chest, although now that I think about it, does that make clicking on the chest harder? It does, you know, because you're going to click on... I think what I might do is... Oh look, I got some chests on me. Is make them double chests like that. And then we can access them easier because we can click on the sides of them with ease like that. Yeah, I think that'll work, and I'll probably change these to full blocks so it looks more like a column coming down. And there we go. I think that looks really nice, and it looks better with full blocks instead of the stairs here, but of course if we have full blocks we can't open the chest. So that is it for this episode. As always, thank you for watching. If you want to follow me on Twitter, there is a link in my description box. So thank you for watching, and I will catch you next time.